corporate luncheon hosted by the Michigan City chapter of Indiana Black Expo. Thank you guys for supporting us, and we're looking forward to a great time today and acknowledging some people and making sure we give recognition to those that are doing the great works of this community. So to start out, I would like to ask if Mrs. Denise Scully will come forward, and we'll ask you all to stand. You have your lyrics in front of you for Lift Every Voice. I'm going to sing this together.
You ready? Let's get this piece of paper out now, unless you know it all. Let's begin. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Last second verse. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Let yet the steady beat have at our weary feet come to the place which our Father sighed. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has brought us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Danita. All right, thank you for that. And we will go right into the program now with just a quick overview. We're going to have some acknowledgments, and then we're going to go right into our invocation, and then we'll have lunch. And immediately after lunch, we will begin our program. So you do have it in front of you, and we will try to be timely and make this as efficient and fun for you all as possible. To start out, every year we always like to acknowledge our mayor for the wonderful community of Michigan City, Indiana. And at this time, I would like to present to you Miss Angie Nelson Deitch as our newly elected, well, not so much newly elected, but new mayor for Michigan City, and she has a few words to share with you.
Good afternoon. Well, it's not afternoon yet. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Giving honor to God and everybody who is here today for the 4th annual IBE Corporate Luncheon. And I just want to talk a little bit and first of all, give Pat a round of applause because we have she has organized a group of African American organizations to really focus on the social determinants of health, and that is important. I see Franciscan in the house and some other folks, and that's important to me. So as we're starting to bring people together, the reason why we celebrate people here today is for the good works that they do. And in Michigan City, the social determinants of health are very important to me because it's around economics, it's around the environment, it's around education, it's around housing, all those different things, right? And so as an administration, my goal, number one, is to make sure everybody has a great quality of place to live. And not only for people who live here now, but for future people. So some of the things that the city is doing, that we are doing, and first of all, Michigan City employees and city council people, would you just stand up, please? Thank you. So this is why this is important, that they're seen in the community. I shared this at the staff meeting the other day. I said, my expectation for all of you is that you will be seen and heard. That you will participate on boards and commissions, that you will join nonprofit organizations, because it's important for us to be engaged at the local level. I don't care if they live out of town. That's the expectation from me, right? And some of the things that we're doing, the council just passed some ARPA dollars so we can put money back into the neighborhoods, about $500,000, and some money in housing. We're reinvigorating our website and our branding to make sure that you all can reach us so that we're not hiding from you anymore. But those things are important. We have over 20 interns working for us this summer. I have interns, we have them at the park, the zoo, the cemetery, the mayor's office. We're working on food insecurity initiatives with the interns. So what my message is to you is to be patient with the city as we continue to grow and as we become more of an integral part of all of your organizations and the works that are going to get done. So congratulations to all of the recipients, my sorority sister, Magistrate Stallworth, and also Arbria. I've watched her, Miss Entrepreneur, has been always doing good things, her and her family. So again, thank you for being here and welcome. I see one of my friends from Elkhart, Arvis, but welcome to this year's luncheon.
Thank you. I think we have a great leader in charge of things down there, and her door is always open. You can sneak in there anytime you really need to. Okay, we'd like to we'd like to also acknowledge other elected officials in the audience today. Rich Stallbrink, take a stand. We have Joey Winsky, take a stand. Bryant Dabney. Nancy Moldenauer. These are the individuals that I caught coming in. If you're in the audience and you're elected, please just raise your hand so that we can be sure that you are acknowledged. Okay, thank you very much. Our sponsors, and you all know that these things don't happen without your sponsors jumping in and helping out, supporting the efforts that we make in these not-for-profit organizations to get things done in the community. And I really want to give a big shout out to the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau for their support. Stan. This is an awesome team to work with. If you've ever needed something on a visitor level and on a community level also, you can call on this team at the Bureau and they will be bending over backwards to help you because they believe in this community and they believe in the mission of the Tourism Bureau. So we really appreciate the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau for their support. Franciscan Alliance. Another awesome team and just a really outstanding corporate citizen. They do things in this community that you probably don't even realize, but Nyla Williams, who's heading up the outreach effort there, has made tremendous inroads into making sure that the communication is made for Franciscan and on the initiatives of health, as the mayor had acknowledged. I have a team that works with me, my board of directors. I would like to have my board members stand that are here. I have Nakia Bonds as our secretary. Scott Pilaf and Glenda Mason are out front. And I think that's it. Nyla Williams, I'm sorry. Nyla is our membership marketing person on our board. Thank you. This organization is a statewide organization, so we have chapters throughout the state, and we support each other. I would like to acknowledge our Elkhart chapter. Please stand. Please stand. We appreciate them, and actually our regional vice chair, which is Danica Foster, if you would stand, she covers the northern region, and she makes sure we have our ducks in a row, if you know what I mean. And she does a very good job with that, so we appreciate her also. And then other organizations, I'm just going to mention a couple. We have Anthony Adams House, who's very supportive and doing things with our youth in the community. We have the NAACP here, Wes Scully and Danita, who sang that wonderful song for us. Miss Jerry Jones representing the HOPE program, and I don't see any others right off. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but I apologize up front, but everybody is working together in this community to get things done, so we really appreciate that. And now I would like to ask if Pastor Gaston will come forth and do our invocation for us.
Amen. Let's bow our heads. Most gracious, eternal God, our Father, we come in the Master's name of Jesus today. We thank you, Lord God, for calling forth this solemn assembly of all these great servants. Lord, you said in your word that he that would be greatest among us all would be a servant of all. So we thank you for the servants that are here today. We thank you for the servant leaders that are here. We thank you for the recipients on today. We thank you for the organization of the Black Expo. God, we just ask that you just bless this event on today. Allow it to be a memorable event, that we all take something home from it on today. God, also bless the food in the name of Jesus Christ for the nourishment of our bodies. It's in Jesus Christ's name we pray and thank you. Amen.
Thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn this over now to the Blue Chip staff to release the tables. And I think if it's okay, we're going to start over here with number 1, and we'll just go across, and they'll release you in order. Have a great lunch, and we'll be with you right after. Okay, as you all continue to enjoy your meals, we're going to proceed with the program. And I just again want to thank the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau for being our title sponsor and helping us to have a successful turnout this year. It's really nice to be in this position. One of our board members, Ms. Nyla Williams, is going to be our MC, but I need to just let you know a few things about her. This is a very dynamic person. She is with Franciscan Alliance. She's their outreach coordinator, and she has been with Indiana Black Expo for many years, and we're very excited to have her as part of our organization. And she works very hard to keep our membership active and keep things out in front of the community for what we're doing. So today we're going to share this afternoon with her as our MC, and I'm going to ask her at this time to come forward. Just real quick. His mom is here. He's not. She's going to fix it. He's floor. Okay.
Am I bringing up
Your hand. Go ahead and do your, do your intro, and then when you get ready, do her help our come picture.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You know I don't mind speaking. Thanks, Pat. First of all, let me give a shout out to Pat, our fearless leader, our board president of Michigan City chapter of Indiana Black Expo. She has been doing this for many years. I've had the pleasure of working side by side with her. I call her my bonus mom. She's very committed and active in the community here and cares about health, community activities, what we're doing here in the city. So thank you for what you do. All right, I want to talk a little bit first about the Michigan City chapter of Indiana Black Expo and what we do. A lot of you may have heard of us, or you might only be aware of the Indianapolis chapter and the things that they may do, like summer celebration or Circle City Classics, things like that. Yes, we are associated with the state chapter, but there's 12 other chapters across the state of Indiana. And they are Gary, you have here Michigan City, we have South Bend, Elkhart, Fort Wayne, West Lafayette, Kokomo, Muncie, Anderson, Evansville, and Indianapolis chapter. So all these different chapters are trying to advance, African Americans and the things that we're doing in the community. So I want you all to know what we do here, because we want you to become members. I'm sure there's members out here in the audience, but when you leave here today, at least you'll have an understanding of the things that we do here locally, right here in your community. So first, we have a focused mentoring program that we have within the schools. We have Friday Night Bid Whiz. Don't ask me about that, because I'm a spades player, I'm sorry. But it seems like every chapter of Indiana Black Expo plays Bid Whiz, and after all these years, I still do not know how to play. I don't know, I just, it's so frustrating, but they're like pros over here. Never mind. Okay. We also sponsor different events. When people come to us, we partner with them. We sponsor different things like the MLK Day celebration. We're involved with that. We're involved with the Black History Month Committee. We always have a end of the month party, celebration, and that ends the Black History Month activities. IBE also partners with me, with Franciscan, in doing our Fan Out Diabetes Health Initiative. We try to focus on health as much as we possibly can, and since I am a part of Franciscan, that is an easy partnership there. So I appreciate IBE for being one of the partners. We also have like a spring fling, our Bid Whiz tournament. We're involved with the Juneteenth celebration. We sponsor that. We're also the head coordinator for the citywide back to school rally here in Michigan City. We work with several other, partners to get that running, but Pat is at the head of it. Once again, IBE, Pat, same thing. Obviously, we're involved with the state Circle City Classics that are in Indy, end of summer celebration. We have a trunk or treat or tent of terror that's normally around Halloween in November. And we give away Christmas baskets every year to the most vulnerable, the most needy families that are in Michigan City. And typically we give out 25, 30 maybe baskets every year. And they're full baskets. We don't skimp. We do not skimp on that. So those are just a few of the things that this chapter does here. And it's easy to become a member. It's reasonable, maybe $20 for a year. And we have discounts sometimes. So consider becoming a member and join us in the things that we're doing, like this right here. We are here to recognize African American leaders who are doing great things in our community, who have done things in the past and will continue to keep working. We have done this. This is our 4th year. We have recognized several people over the years. And this is something that we need your support on. So I thank you all for being here today. And please continue to support IBE in the functions that we put forth in the community. So, next on the agenda, we have our 2024 scholarship recipient. That's something else that we do. We give away scholarships, sometimes 2 or 3 a year. We have one today, and I want to bring up Dr. Barbara Easton Watkins so she can present, oh my goodness, what happened to your arm? Present this award to a deserving student. So here's Ms. Watkins.
Well, good afternoon. It's always an honor to be here today, and I am particularly honored to be able to introduce our scholarship recipient for the day. Not only is he an academic scholar, he is one that has very high values and believes in giving back to the community. He was one that started a group at the high school called Helping Hands. And they have been involved in many projects, not only at the high school, but also across the city. In some cases, it involved beautification. In some cases, it may have just involved giving of your time. But he understood how important all of those factors were for the success of his future. And if I can have Lorenzo Panozzo Reed come forward. We know him as Enzo. Please come forward. Oh, my mom is here. Now, I know where he got some of it from because his mom stepped forward as a parent, and she was very instrumental in helping our school put up some new murals. One of our community projects also took place with one of our local businesses who wanted students to do something. It's absolutely beautiful. So I know how we appreciate you, but we also love Enzo. So congratulations on behalf. And perhaps you
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for acknowledging Lorenzo. I love him so much. This kid is incredible. I can tell you so many times Enzo came to me and he said, "Mom, if I don't save Helping Hands, nobody's gonna save it, Mom." And I said, "Well, are you gonna save it?" And he said, "You bet I am." And then after he decided he was gonna save Helping Hands, this kid took on drive like I hadn't seen before. Lorenzo is already driven, but he just took on drive that came from some source much more powerful than him. And I always say, you can show love so open-heartedly to everybody, Lorenzo, and that's a real gift because not only do you care and not only are you a true leader, but people understand that you're an honest person who offers them real love and real care. And he was like, "That's right, Mom. You know, I didn't think that would play a part of it. But I see that it plays a huge part of it. And that the more caring I am and the more open I am, the more I can get stuff done." And I said, "You know what? People love you, Enzo. They love you back." And he said, "Mom, that's the best part." So this is you guys just loving Lorenzo back. So thank you for acknowledging him. The best gift for those who love you, and you who love them is to be loved back. And this is you guys loving Lorenzo back. And he'll keep loving you and he'll keep doing stuff for this community, because that's the boy I raised. And that's this open-hearted, beautiful, driven young man that you guys see and acknowledge. So thank you for loving him back. And he'll always remember this, and he'll always be a part of the Black Expo, which we call Black Excellence in our house. So we love y'all, and thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Good job. Thank you. So sweet. Huh? Oh.
Okay.
Lorenzo is in Japan. That is why he is not up here accepting this on his own behalf. Well, because he is in Japan. Yes, indeed. He is on a trip of a lifetime in Japan, and he's actually giving a speech. As I am giving a speech, he's giving a speech at Osaka High School to talk about the Michigan City High School Exchange Program, which is run through Mike Sensei Sagawa, who we love like our family now. We call him Sensei Chan, which Sensei Chan is a nickname for someone you love so much that you can control yourself. So he is in Japan, paving students' path to come from Osaka, Japan, here to Michigan City High School for the exchange program next year. So yes to this wonderful young man, and thank you so much again. Yes.
Thank you. Oh, that was so sweet. All right, next on the agenda. All right, let me talk about this young lady right here. Miss Maria Grinston. She's been blowing up here in Michigan City. She started a program called Jump, Just Unleashing More Positivity. Back in the day, she was in one of my programs called GAP, Girls About Progress. Yeah, so don't try to figure out the math with that, okay? But she won IBE's Volunteer of the Year Award for 2023. She's also involved in our Focus program, the mentoring program here that we do. So I just wanted to recognize her, today. I wanted you all to know that she did receive this award. We give this out every year to different individuals. And Miss Maria, if you want to come up and say a few words, share with them especially about what you've been doing with IBE. We kind of helped support and kick off Jump. And now it has really taken off, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. First, I just want to say thank you to God, because without Him, nothing is possible. And this just started off as a little idea to me. I seen a need in the community. Miss Pat had me over the Double Dutch contest for the back to school rally, and I'm like, none of the kids know how to jump. So all the parents had to compete for them the first year. So I took it upon myself, because when I was younger, me and my friends, we didn't go anywhere without a Double Dutch rope. We played Double Dutch everywhere, had them on our bikes, we put 4 quarters together to try to get a new rope. Like, it was our thing. So I said, we got to bring Double Dutch back to the community and teach the kids how to jump, and just give them a positive distraction from all the negativity and violence in our city. And I had no idea it would grow to this level. We've been doing it for about 2 years now. We started off just at Joy School on Sundays, just meeting up, posting things on Facebook, getting people out. Miss Pat helped us for the initial cost, got us the jump ropes, coolers, waters, things like that. Then she eventually got us into the YMCA, completely free. And so it allowed us to continue to be a free program for the community. You don't need a YMCA membership. You don't have to pay anything towards the program. And we meet every other Saturday at the YMCA from 12 to 1:30, I'm sorry. and it's for children ages 5 and up, but we encourage the parents to come jump with us. We've been doing all type of events, church events. We're signed up for our first parade next weekend, so I'm excited about that. I actually want to thank Mayor Angie as well. She just gave us a donation, and it's allowing me to be able to grow the program and be able to do more things for the community as far as provide transportation, do field trips, have incentives for the children to keep coming. And so I just thank God. And if anybody's ever having an event and won't jump to attend, I haven't turned down one invitation, because I just think it's great to even be acknowledged and people to even know who we are and to invite us places. And the kids, if you could just see the enthusiasm and the joy they get from doing it, that's a reward for myself. And so they say always do your best because you never know who's watching. I had no idea the community was watching this way. So I'm not going to tear up on you guys, but I just want to thank you guys for this award and show you what they presented to me because I thought it was so nice. But I got this nice plaque from IBE. And so thank you, Ms. Pat, for believing in me, being behind me. Mayor Angie, thank you for even just considering my program a real program. That in itself is just, it was a little idea to me and now it's something bigger. So thank you to the community and thank you, God.
Thank you, Maria. All right, so if you want any double dutching, you know who to contact, right? All right. All right, next I'm going to introduce a gentleman who is a member of Indiana Black Expo. He's also a partner with me on a lot of my programs and initiatives that I do in the city. He's very involved and y'all all know him. Do I even need to say his name? All right, well, Mr. Marty Corley, please come up, who's the Chief of Police for the Michigan City Police Department, who will introduce the I Rise Award. Thank you, Mr. Marty.
Well, thank you. Do that. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see your smiling faces. Everybody smiling? Yeah, yeah. So before I introduce the iRise recipient, are there any past iRise recipients in the audience? If you could please stand. I did that on purpose. Mr. William Walker. Nice job. So, I have the honor of presenting our iRise recipient, which is kind of special for me because she's a relative and a very good friend and confidant. I go into her shop in the morning sometimes, and she always gives me these bits of words of enthusiasm for the day. So I really appreciate her. So Ibria Clifton is a born and raised Michigan City native. She graduated from the high school and played basketball the majority of her life. She attended college in Texas, got her associate's, then finished at PNW to get her bachelor's in business management and a minor in finance. She now owns MC Hope Nutrition, making healthy and nutritional drinks to support people in living a healthy, active lifestyle. She also gives back to different areas of the community with her time, love, and knowledge. She loves to serve, eat, have fun, exercise, and be a light in the world. So I'd like to present to you all Ibria Clifton. Yeah. Okay. Can I take pictures of me? You doing pictures? Oh, okay.
Hi everyone. First I want to thank God who's head of my life. Yes, I wrote a speech. I would also like to thank everyone that thought of me for this reward. It's truly an honor and I don't take it lightly. As I think on what this reward stands for, this award and all the milestones I've been able to accomplish, I believe that the lessons I've learned have to be acknowledged as well, because they have made an impact on the woman I am today. God has his hands on me and is still working on me. But as I look at my life, I often reference and compare it to a potter's wheel and the journey of a butterfly. Things in life are constantly changing, and we get the choice to be able to adapt. The quicker we can learn, adapt, and take on challenges to apply the knowledge we acquire, the faster we and I can overcome adversity and elevate to higher heights. I've learned that what we do in life is determined by how we communicate to ourselves, and our environment is key as well. We all have the ability to rise above frustration, adversity, doubt, fear, naysayers, anything that you guys, we all struggle with. So in conclusion, I'm grateful for the ability to learn, grow, and change. I'm beyond grateful for my family and the community that encourages me, uplifts me, and supports me in keeping me inspired. I have an amazing support system and community backing and surrounding me as I navigate and take risky steps in this journey called life, as I evolve into this butterfly God has ordained me to be. Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I know, I'm about to cry. All right, next award that Mr. Marty Corley will be presenting is our Community Spirit Award. Now, this award, we always keep it hush hush. This person, every year that we've had this, they don't know that they're getting it. Somebody always sneak them in or try to get them in somehow. So I'll let Mr. Corley take it over. So excited.
So the Community Spirit Award, are there any past recipients of the Community Spirit Award? If so, could you please stand? So a quick story about Mr. Campbell was me and Mrs. Campbell had the job of getting him here. And then I thought Mrs. Campbell was going to do it. Mrs. Harris calls me and say, "Are you going to get Chief Campbell here?" I was like, well, his wife said she was. I haven't heard from her. And then she had difficulties getting him here. He wouldn't cooperate. So I don't know if it's the big of surprises for him, because after a while I think we had to spill the beans in order for him to show up, because he wasn't going to come or do anything, being very stubborn. But again, congratulations. Mr. Payne. You want to stand? Oh, did you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Payne. I'm sorry. I did. That's me. Nope, that's me. No, because Dion was giving me eye contact and laughing and playing with me, so he threw me off. So on to our winner. As you can see, I have a long bio here for that person. And again, Mrs. Harris does a great job of keeping this a secret. She wouldn't even, I'm presenting the person and I didn't know until today. So she keeps it a good secret from that person. So I know this person's gonna be surprised, even though my mom almost gave it away anyway, but we'll go on. So to keep it a little mystery still, I'll tell you this. This person's, how you know this person in our community. This person is a board member of North Central Community Action Agency. Also a board member of the Michigan City Commission on the Social Status of African American Males, a lifetime member of the NAACP, also a member of the East Porter Neighborhood Association, Michigan City Women's Commission since 2011, also the Michigan City Sustainability Commission, a member of the League of Women Voters since 2018. She's retired from Indiana Department of Corrections, where she was served as a correctional counselor, correctional sergeant, correctional officer, and a correctional lieutenant. And she is also presently on the trustee board and the church administrator at the Pentecostal Temple Church of God in Christ. So I think I kind of give it away. So our Community Spirit Award is very deserving, Mrs. Faye Moore. She's got us all, so you're not by yourself. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll take a picture real quick first.
It's not.
There you go.
Pat really got me. She really got me. She asked me for a bio for when we did a quality of life event. And so I gave her my bio. Thinking that that's all she needed because she had it in the program and everything for that event. But I really thank you, IBE. Thank you, community. And I thank everyone for the recognition. The things that I do it for the community, not for recognition, because I really want my reward in heaven, because that's the greatest reward that you can get. But I do appreciate it. I'm really humbled to receive this. And I really thank each and every one that had a part in making this decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faye. Faye is at every meeting, every board meeting, every community meeting, every event, city council meetings. She's everywhere. And she always has a smile on her face. She's always supportive in the things I know that I do. If I send her an email with a flyer, she's blasting it out and saying, please support Nyla with this or that. And she's always there. So, you know, we see you. We need to recognize our folks more. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot. You know, this is nice, the awards, to actually get something physical, but start telling people how much you appreciate them. Tell them, you know, you are worthy. We see you. We recognize you. And thank you for your service, because this free stuff is hard. She's not getting paid to do these things, and a lot of our other, you know, awardees didn't get paid to do a lot of the things that they do, but yet and still they're out here doing it. So being a servant leader, it takes a whole lot. It takes a whole lot. So recognize these people and say thank you. Okay, that's my little spiel. All right. All right. Next, I'm going to bring up Ms. Pat Harris, this final award, which is the Lifetime Achievement Award for Miss Erica Stallworth. So I'll let Pat come up and introduce her. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nyla. And yes, Faye, we'll have to have a little chat. Okay, I'm going to present the Lifetime Achievement Award. This award goes to an individual that has stepped up the level of their career and achieved that one thing in life that they were really after. But even getting there now, Erica has new goals for herself. And that's the point in achieving something. You're always looking for that next step. I'm very, very honored to be able to have Erica here today with us to accept this award. And I just wanted to share, I'm not going to read this whole thing, you know, so I'll leave it for you to look over and see all of her accomplishments, which are many. But what I wanted to share with you today is my interaction with Erica over the past few years. Back in 2013, our state had the conference here for Indiana Black Expo for all over the state of Indiana. And we were looking at the State of Our Black Youth report. And one of the sections in there was justice, and it addressed juvenile issues. Michigan City had a major area of concern, and as a result of that conference and bringing the state together, Michigan City decided to pursue the initiative of starting what they called at the time a juvenile detention alternatives initiative, which is referred to as JDI. And as we got involved in that, we had the opportunity to work with Erica. And just seeing, she was at that time the director at the Juvenile Services Center. So a lot of the input, we depended on her to do that. I saw her in those meetings and her sincerity and her passion and her love for really helping these young people. And it touched me in a way that I thought, wow, this young lady has things really going. Now, this was in 2014, 2015, not knowing that those things going for her would lead her to be magistrate of the juvenile court services in LaPorte County. So I'm really, really honored and pleased to bring forth to you today Miss Erica Stallworth. Please stand.
Thank you. I think I hear. Oh, it's Pat. Thank you. Thank you. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Miss Pat, thank you for that introduction, and thank you to the Indiana Black Expo for this recognition. First, I also give honor to God, who is the head of my life. I would not be here without him. He's been with me every single step of the way. I'm deeply honored for this recognition. I am grateful to my parents. My mother is ill, so she's not able to be here today. My family, my friends, my church family, for their continued support, and my sorority sisters who are all in attendance throughout the audience here today. When Miss Harris, Miss Pat, I call her, contacted me to let me know that I was selected as this year's recipient for a Lifetime Achievement Award, I was shocked. I'm only 46 years old. So have I really done so much in my 46 years to earn this honor? I talked to a few friends and they were like, are you kidding me? Have you looked at your resume and bio? So I thought about it. These friends reminded me of the work that I've done over the past 2 decades to enhance the lives of children and families. Sometimes you just need a little reminder about your worth. So today, I would like to use my story to remind you all about the value that you bring into the lives of others. I would especially like to speak to the young people who are here today. I hope that what I share inspires you, and I do want to apologize that some of you may have heard parts of this speech before. I did change it up a little bit, but I'm sure you can pick something up that maybe was missed last time. So I'm going to speak to you about my life experiences, finding my voice, challenges that I've faced as an advocate, my journey to becoming the first African American judicial officer in LaPorte County, and the importance of community. So I was born in Chicago in 1977, and I moved to a little town called Kingsford Heights, Indiana, here in LaPorte County when I was around 18 months old. Kingsford Heights has a population of less than 1,500 people, and 16% of those persons live below the poverty line. It's a very close-knit, loving community. My mother, she raised me and my older brother, sometimes working 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet. My father was present, active, and nearby in Illinois. And overall, I had a very good childhood with close family connections and a loving church. As a child, I focused on making good grades. I was well supported by my parents and my church. I remember when I was a child, my mother made me take my report card to church so that the pastor could read my grades in front of the whole congregation. I did not like this. I was so embarrassed. But I also remember my pastor stating that it is best for us to celebrate our young people now, because we could be reading about them in the paper for something that they've done wrong. That I didn't understand it at the time, but I understand it now. His words have really stuck with me and have shaped me as a child advocate.
Celebrating young people is something that I've strived to do and continue to do today. My pastor, he didn't just talk the talk either. He walked the walk. When I was in elementary school, he promised all the young people that if you brought home straight A's, he would buy us a stereo. I was one of only 2 people who got a stereo that year. But I also remember my pastor showing up. I went to school in Atlanta, Georgia. On the day of my graduation from Spelman College, my pastor was there. And he wasn't alone. He brought my aunts, my uncles, my godparents, my cousins, some members of the church as well. My community supported me. They showed up for me. And they are so important to me. They say that it takes a village to raise a child, and I wholeheartedly believe this. Even now, as I'm a mother of a young child, I wouldn't be here today and be able to stand in this role without the help of people in my community who have helped me. She's only just going to be 5, but who have helped me along the way. Summer, she steps in and helps a lot. This is my childhood friend from 2nd grade on. My mother who couldn't be here today, and so many others who have stepped up to help me so that I could have a career and be a mother at the same time. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you. So I kind of threw that out there, so I got to get back to my spot about the village. So I attribute much of my success to the members of the community who loved me, showed up for me, and supported me as a child and as an adolescent. Their example has influenced my decision in many ways, but primarily it guided my choice to be the best role model and a servant leader to those around me. So as mentioned, I grew up in the Heights. And I felt like growing up in the Heights, we kind of got a bad reputation for being poor, and oftentimes people turned their nose down at us, or up. They'd look down on us. But while my community may have been poor, we were wealthy in love, friendship, and support. It was a wonderful and still is a wonderful place to raise your children. And I am an example of what happens when you pour into a child in his and her community. Following elementary school, I attended middle school and high school in LaPorte. And LaPorte High School was not very diverse back in the 90s. My graduating class had 9 black students out of 425, and I only ever had 1 black teacher, who was our gym teacher, who I'm forever grateful because she taught me how to swim. And attending LaPorte High School wasn't a bad experience. I was well liked. I had a lot of friends. I played sports. I was in many clubs, made good grades, and I was actually number 3 in my class and was voted senior prom queen, which I was recently informed. I always thought I was the first. I'm not the first, so I wanted to correct that. There was someone in 1977 who was voted prom queen, so I was the second in LaPorte High School history. But most importantly, LaPorte High School prepared me academically for college. I can remember my English teacher cutting out an article about Spelman College and placing it on my desk. Spelman College, for those who don't know, is the #1 HBCU in the nation. The HBCUs were created at a time when former enslaved persons were not permitted to attend college, so we developed our own organizations and institutions. So while my experience at LaPorte High School was not bad, I also remember feeling different. During the history lesson on the Civil War and slavery, I felt like I was being singled out by well-meaning teachers who showed the movie Glory. And they let the class know that if anyone felt uncomfortable, they could be excused. It was definitely awkward, as I was the only black child in the class, and I felt that all eyes were on me. So when I thought about attending college, I decided that I wanted to experience something different, where I was not always the minority or the other. I went on a black college tour when I was in the 11th grade through the NAAC chapter in Detroit, Michigan with my cousin. And when I walked through the gates of Spelman College, it was love at first sight. I felt like Spelman was the place that I was destined to be. I applied to Spelman for early decision, and fortunately I got in because that was the only college I applied to. I was accepted and attended Spelman on a 4-year partial scholarship. Spelman changed my life. Leaving my comfort zone and traveling to another part of the country changed my viewpoint, my perspectives. For the first time in my life, I was exposed to a community where more people looked like me. They were smart, they had goals, and of course everyone was not the same, and there's beauty in that as well. But I was challenged academically, but also in my beliefs. My peers and professors were from all over the country, as well as other parts of the world. And my professors also looked at me. Remember, I told you I only ever had one black teacher before. So when I went to Spelman, I had all kinds of black teachers, and I was just amazed. They taught me history that I never even knew existed. One of our first year requirements was that all freshmen had to take a class called African Diaspora in the World, which we called ADW. The class taught me so much about my culture, history of black persons in Africa, and things that I never would have learned elsewhere. I found a home at Spelman College. When I came back to Indiana, of course, I viewed my childhood community through a very different lens. I had a more worldwide view. Things that I did not realize were racially biased were now so much clearer to me. I now had a different perspective due to my exposure to such a rich and diverse makeup of thoughts and ideas that I found in college. Spelman also taught me how to use my voice. Later, I used my voice to express questions and concerns that I had in regard to the children at my job, as well as for children on the state and national level within my public policy and advocacy work. After graduating from Spelman in 2000, I came home for the summer before heading to the University of Michigan's School of Social Work program. I had plans to just become a child and I shouldn't say just, but to become a child and family therapist. But my experience that summer at the Juvenile Services Center, where I was hired as a part-time line worker, changed the course of my life as well. My cousin was working there and I needed a summer job. And she said, well, they're hiring at the JSC. Juvenile Services Center, which is a 24-bed emergency shelter care and juvenile detention center for at-risk youth, So I just needed something for the summer. So I started working there as a part-time worker, and I absolutely fell in love with the population. These bad children, as people often view them, and I were just a great fit. And I found that working with these youth was my calling. But I also did not like what I observed. Children with similar charges were experiencing very different outcomes. Those with financial resources were faring better. Those who looked like me and the poor, not so much. I decided that summer that I wanted to go to law school so that I could become a better advocate for those in need of a voice. As a social worker, you can definitely impact change, but I felt that I needed a little bit more behind that so that I could really do more work. And I felt that I could do that as an attorney. However, I'm always looking for long-term goals. My long-term goal was to become a juvenile and family court judge. And so I actually wrote about that in one of my law school applications. I believe that becoming a judge is where I could have the most effective impact in guiding the trajectory of a young person's life. But let me go back just a little bit. At the JSC, I was a part-time youth specialist worker, a caseworker, a counselor, the assistant director, and the director. Somewhere in there, I attended law school for 4 years, commuting back and forth to Chicago, and I eventually received my law degree, passed the bar, had a part-time legal practice. And then April of last year, after 22 and a half years at the Juvenile Services Center, and at the age of 45, I retired and was appointed the Juvenile Court Magistrate for LaPorte County. Thank you. So during my time at the JSC, I was able to change policy to reflect the needs of our diverse populations. For instance, early on in my job, African American girls were told that hair grease was a privilege to earn, when I know as a black woman, it is not a privilege to earn, it's a need. So I was able to advocate for things like hair grease for minority youth so that it's listed as something that they automatically receive, just like when they receive shampoo and conditioner. So this led to my supervisors asking me for feedback and opinions regarding policy around cultural issues. So now I was happy to educate and provide insight. I understood that the children we serve would likely have better outcomes if we could all understand cultural differences, specific needs, communication styles, family dynamics, and lingo and the different types of terminology that we use. So some years in at the JSC, I became a little bored with my day-to-day work. I love the job and I love the work, but it was not always feeding my passion to make change. So I found other avenues to use my skills. I worked on local, state, and national policy on juvenile justice reform and racial equity. As a founding board member of the Children's Policy and Law Initiative of Indiana and co-chair of its decriminalization of children work group, I helped draft policy positions regarding these issues and made recommendations to the governor and legislators. I did similar work with the National Juvenile Justice Network, where I sat as co-chair of its membership advisory committee, and I was also an alumni fellow of its leadership program. So don't get me wrong, I kept very busy at the JSC in my day-to-day job. And there were many challenges being the only and now the first. At the age of 31, Judge Alavisos appointed me as an executive director of the Juvenile Services Center. So I was one of the youngest, a woman, and only one of few department heads of color for local government. It came with its challenges and many microaggressions. So I want you all to hear this next part. Listen carefully. Some people can attempt to make you feel as if you do not belong, that you are not worthy of being in your position, and that you are not qualified. And they question your very presence. But I've learned that you've got to hold fast to the knowledge that you do belong, and know that God has placed you in the positions that He has for a reason. The reminders in my life come from my mother, my late Aunt Claudine Beatty, my childhood pastor, and so many more. They sowed into me at a young age that I could be anything that I wanted to be, and that I would be anything that I wanted to be. So when doubt comes in, I remember those voices and not those of the naysayers. That being said, I had to become creative in advocating for my agency. I used strategies such as aligning myself with those that look like the decision maker to carry out the objective. The truth of the matter is that sometimes you have to ask for help in order to reach your goal. Because it's not about me, it's about the children that I serve. I've had to humble myself to reach the goal. I've had to ask for help and guidance. I still ask for help and guidance because I don't know everything, and I cannot always do things on my own. Having trusted mentors, supervisors, and someone who will have your back are needed in this work. Back to the microaggressions, because I don't want to miss this part. I literally had 10 letters behind my name and experience to boot, but at times that did not seem to matter. At times I had to use a different messenger to get the outcome that I needed for my agency, and that was just my reality. But I'm also here to say that with that being said, you still have to know when and how to use your own voice. As a juvenile court magistrate for LaPorte County, not only the first Black woman, but the first Black person, period, this opportunity is one that I cannot and I will not waste. When I was appointed, I understood that I would have an important impact on those that I encounter in the courtroom. However, I didn't realize just how much of an impact that I am having right now on persons outside of the courtroom as well. I am a possibility model. I am an example that achieving your goals and success is possible. I may be the first, but I certainly shall not be the last. Being a leader and a change maker is not easy and will not always be fun. It is going to be uncomfortable, but you have to be transformative and impactful in your opportunity, and you have to push in the spaces that you're in. Don't let anyone make you believe that you don't belong. It is no longer enough to simply have a seat at the table, but you must lend your voice while you're there. Don't just settle for being in a space. You belong just like the next person. Because of my education, I do have choices, but I chose to come back to LaPorte County and make a difference in my community. I don't know what the future may bring, but I know that God has placed me in various positions for a reason. I know that people are looking at me. Some are looking at me to fail, but the majority want me to achieve and do great things. I take my role very seriously, and I know that I am a role model in providing hope that someone like me, who grew up in a single parent household in a poverty-stricken area, can achieve great things. For the first time in their lives, some of the children and families that come into my courtroom see someone who looks like them. I think this helps build trust and rapport, which in turn helps helps us work together to achieve positive outcomes for the families we serve. I saw this at the JSC, where a large number of the staff members there look like the children we serve. And even if we don't all look alike, because that's what diversity is all about, having a respect and understanding of each other's differences helps us communicate more effectively and move in positive directions. I treat those in the courtroom with respect while still holding them accountable, no matter what they look like, no matter where they come from. As I close, I want to leave with a final thought about what I feel has been one of the greatest contributors to my success: community. The young lady here talked about that. I agree wholeheartedly. My childhood supports, parents, family, that teacher in high school that shared information with me about Spelman College, the sisterhood and friendships that I've developed at Spelman College and in my sorority, my church, who I have members of my church here, and my work family. They have shaped me and provided me with the emotional support that I've needed for my journey. Life is hard. I've had personal struggles. I've had failed relationships, the unexpected passing of my big brother, who was my best friend, and other losses. I've experienced overwhelming depression and despair. But God, I made it through. He surrounded me with prayer warriors. Sandy, raise your hand, please. This woman wrapped me in her arms and prayed over me repeatedly and never stopped, never ceased. These warriors stood in the gap for me. My church family, my mother, and close friends, my tribe and my village is so strong. I would not be standing here today without the love and support that I've received throughout my life. And I recognize how truly blessed I am to have the support. I also recognize that I've had to ask for help too. And as I said before, life is hard and we cannot always run this race alone. So really the closing, find your tribe, find your village, get a mentor, get a therapist, and always know that you belong. I am deeply honored for this recognition, and just thank you all.
All right, let's give a round of applause for all of our awardees today. Aubrey Smith, Aubrey Clifton, Aubrey Magistrate, and Faye Moore. Thank you all. I'm going to turn it over to Pat Harris for our closing remarks. I just want to give a shout out. I know we're running over, but I got to give a shout out to Franciscan and Dean Mazzoni, who is the president and CEO of Franciscan Health Michigan City. If you could please stand. He is the supporter of all the things that I be doing, you know, to have a CEO that I can go to and say, I want to do this. And he says, yes, all the time. Like, what? Who has that? So I appreciate you, but Franciscan Health always supports all of these different programs and things that we do in the community. They're always sponsoring, you know, the Black History Month, IBE every year. So thank you. I just wanted to give you a shout out for that. So here's Pat Harris. Thanks.
How about a hand for our MC, you guys, Miss Nyla Williams. I'm always touched when I do the closing remarks because I've had the opportunity to listen to the award recipients and sharing their stories with us. It's just very, very heartwarming, and I'm so thankful for them in our community. And as you can see, we have some very dynamic people in this community doing things. Those were the recipients, but look around this room. We have an awesome community here. We just need to, you know, put the metal to the pedal to the metal. There you go, and get it moving forward, you guys. Michigan City is poised for some great things to happen, and we know that with the group that we're working with now, the village, that we're going to get there. Indiana Black Expo Michigan City chapter. You've heard about some of the programs we're doing, but we're starting a couple of initiatives that I just want to make you aware of. One being the African American Coalition. We're working with the NAACP, Mr. Wes Scully. We're working with Denise Ship with the Northwest Indiana Melanin Business Association. And we're bringing together African American leaders. One of the most dynamic people in our group, Mr. Art Payne, the recipient, one of our previous recipients of the Community Spirit Award. He got that award because of some of the things he's doing. And he's helping our coalition. He's kind of like the father of the group. He kind of keeps us kind of on even keel so we don't get too, way out there. So we're working on that, bringing together the efforts. Instead of having these little silos, we're trying to bring those things together to have more impact. So we have that going now. We have about 17 members involved in that. And then the other thing, we're going to officially start announcing this now to the public, is we have a committee formed to start a Black History Museum in Michigan City, Indiana. I would like for Marty Corley to stand, Ms. Dale Cooper to stand, Kathy Walker's not here, Sherry Silcockis is not here, and myself. We are the 5 people working on this committee, and we're going to be looking for community input. We're just getting some of the nuts and bolts out of the way so you guys don't have to get involved on all that stuff. But once we get that together, we will roll out something for the community to come and be part and helping us decide, what do you want this Black History Museum to look like? At this point, it's going to be named after Mr. Alan Williams, and you all know him as Pookie, who has an extraordinary collection of Black history artifacts and all, you name it, he has it. And it's on display right now at the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Dale Cooper helped pull that together so it was put in a nice format for you to display and follow the sequence of things that's going on in that display. So we encourage you to stop out there and see that. But those are some of the things we're working on right now in the community, and everybody is welcome to be part of Indiana Black Expo. We really look at ourselves as a convener, bringing efforts together. We try to, our board and our members, we try to look out and see things going on and say, how can we enhance? How can we make it better? So we're looking to do that, and we certainly welcome your input. With that, we got to give Blue Chip a round of applause for the outstanding service. Food is always important when we get together. You know that, right? And with that, I'm going to give a special acknowledgement, and he doesn't get Volunteer of the Year award, but my husband, Mr. Ellis Harris, is always my Volunteer of the Year, because as Mayor Angie says it, my ride or die, because he's always there for me. Thank you, Ellis Harris. And my daughter, Candace Adams, back there. She's also a wonderful support for me. So, and now with that, we're going to thank you again for coming and being part of this event. We will see you next year with some more wonderful people doing great things in the community. And look out for me, because when I come around, you never know what I may have up my sleeve. But thank you again for coming, and we'll see you next year.